Good morning everybody, welcome to YogaCandi. My name's Candice and today I have an all levels class for you. So sorry if I sound a bit congested, I am congested, it's that time of year and I've got a toddler and I just keep picking up different colds here and there. I'm at the tail end but still full of congestion, so if you're the same as me, feel free to breathe through your mouth today. Whenever you need to, don't feel like you have to breathe through the nose if it's not possible. Of course, breathing through the nose is always ideal, but it's not always possible. So it's going to be quite a gentle class today, nice and stretchy and mindful. It's going to be like a Vinyasa and Yin Yoga fusion, which I know you guys have enjoyed in the past. I haven't filmed one for a while, so I thought this might be a fun class for us to do today. Feel free, if you're more of a beginner, to have a yoga block handy. It's not really a full beginner class, but of course if you're a complete beginner, do join in, but also all levels are welcome to have a go. So before we begin the class today, we're going to just start off with a little stretch of the mouth. So this is going to seem a little strange maybe, it's not a traditional yoga thing to do, but sometimes we carry a lot of tension in our jaw and in our mouth, so we're going to start there. So this is a great stress relieving thing to do in the mornings. Just take your tongue to the corner of your mouth with your mouth closed and start to press against, just against the skin of your mouth. So you'll see some movement of your tongue here, up and down, just massaging that inner cheek. And then roll it down all the way to the other side and rub the other side of the cheek. Take it back to the other side again. And back to the other side. Now blow air into each side of the cheek like this. Just releasing all those muscles. And now open your jaw, just let it fall open and take your finger just like this, curl your finger and just rub up your jaw. So from sort of mid-jaw up into the side towards your ear, just to release those muscles. Just like that. Keep going. And then to the other side. Okay, your mouth may feel a little more relaxed now. Taking the tops of the hands to the knees, you can swap position of the legs, sit in any comfortable position. Close your eyes and let's just take a moment of silence together. Just roll the neck out from side to side. Come to center, left arm over to the side, right arm rises tilt the chest to the sky and take that side body stretch. You can take the right arm behind the head to rest the head onto. Try to keep both your sit bones on the ground. You can stay elevated up on your hand or come down to your forearm. Take it over to the other side. Stay lifted on the hand or come down to the forearm. Chest tilts to the sky. And back to center. Okay, come onto all fours. Have your fingertips face your knees, thumbs outside edges of your hands. Make some big or small circles with the hips. Stretching out the back of the hands here. And then rotate your circles in the opposite direction. Take your fingertips out to the sides and thumbs facing the top end of your mat, and just start to wobble from side to side, still warming up and stretching through the palms. Okay, come to center in your all fours, fingers face the top of the mat now, taking some cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, arch, tuck the chin and the tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, arch. Keep going, 2 more. Walk your hands forward for your puppy pose. If you would like to, you can rest your head onto your block. Try to keep your hips in line with your knees and keep your elbows raised off the ground. If you're more intermediate, go straight into taking this deep into your chest. Roll your spine into your cat pose, so arching, tucking chin and tailbone. And now inhale, raise the right arm to the sky. Bring it underneath the left arm for your thread the needle. Taking a spinal twist, maybe you can grab the inside edge of your right thigh. If you can't grab the inside edge of your right thigh, place the hand either on your sacrum or just on the ground next to you. Keep the breath deep. Okay, come out of your twist. Arch your spine, tuck your chin and your tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Back to a neutral spine. Raise your left arm to the sky, look up. Thread it underneath your right. Thread the needle on the opposite side. Your hand can stay next to you on your bum or grabbing the inside edge of your thigh. Coming out of your twist, arch your spine, tucking chin and tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Coming all the way down to your chest, into your Sphinx pose, resting onto your forearms. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Keep your head lifted. Now cross your right arm underneath the left and the left on top. So your arms are crossed and you're going to rest your head over the top of your arms, stretching out the backs of your shoulders. Lift your head and using your spine, guide your chest off the ground. Move your arms away from each other. Hands planted under shoulders. Lift your stomach up off the ground. Look forwards into your cobra. And down, cross your left arm underneath your right this time, so right on top. And rest your head over the top of your arms. Breathe deep. Lift your head, use your spine to lift your arms out from under you. Now lift your legs, so your thighs and your knees. Lifting the chest, keep your arms alongside your body. So we're using the power of our spine here. Squeeze your glutes. See if you can lift a little higher. And then plant the hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, and send your hips up and back. to your first downward facing dog. Feet are hip distance, hands are shoulder distance. Externally rotate your shoulders, get your shoulders to pull apart. Slight internal rotation of your legs. So you're almost trying to get your knees to look at each other. Let's find some spinal waves. So wave forward to plank. Find a little bounce. Waving back to downward facing dog. Keep going, waving to your plank. Find that little bounce, stretching the calves. And send it back to down dog. Taking one more. And downward facing dog. Hold your dog. You can walk your dog if you need to by bending and straightening the legs. But hold for 3 deep breaths. Raise your right leg, look forwards. Step this right leg between your palms as far forward as you can. So you're now in like a runner's lunge. Keep your hands down. Engage the back leg, so lift up through the kneecap. And you're going to feel the stretch through the psoas here. And then slowly take the knee down for a low lunge. You may want to use your block here. And maybe just rest your right arm onto your right knee, sinking lower into the hips. The closer the back knee is to the front foot, the easier the stretch will be. So be where you are today in this pose. If you're more intermediate, you can turn this into a quad stretch as well by lifting those toes off the ground, taking a grip of the heel and pulling it towards your bum. If you're a beginner, just stay in the low lunge. Now send your hips back, straighten the front foot, and this is into our half split pose. If you're quite inflexible, use your block to come a little higher up. Maybe bend your knee if needed. Again, be where you are, don't force the body. We're taking this class nice and easy, so just do what feels good for you. Roll forwards to your low lunge here. Plant your hands, come up off the back knee. We're going to open out the knee now. So we're going to take the knee behind the right hand, the toes behind the left hand, and start to wiggle your back toes down into your pigeon pose. If you're a beginner or have very inflexible hips, then sit this right sit bone onto your block to elevate your hips a little higher. So the aim here is to keep that knee open, and you want to keep your hips in line with each other. So your hip bones should be facing forwards and they should be in line. You shouldn't have a lift here on the left side. If that's lifted, you need to come on forwards or elevate yourself in order to come forward. The closer the right heel is towards your body, the easier this hip opener will be. If you're very, very flexible, you may be able to open this shin so that it's parallel to the top of the mat. Now, I've been doing yoga for many, many years and I still cannot do that. I haven't got the most open hips in the world. So just be where you are and don't worry if you can't get into the full expression of the pose, so long as it feels good for your body. So you can stay up tall like this, maybe find a little wiggle. We're all going to stay up tall to begin with. And the benefits of staying up tall is that you're actually getting a little deeper into the psoas here on the left side. You may just feel that stretch through the hip down into the quad area. Then if you want to get deeper into the hip opener, we're going to come down to the forearms. You can come down onto a block if you would like. Or maybe you can come all the way down, bringing your forehead to the ground and just resting, giving into gravity, opening up through that hip. It's quite an intense stretch, so just breathe deep with it. Sit with it as long as it's not painful. Okay, wherever you are, start coming up. Plant your hands shoulder distance. Untuck the back toes and just lift yourself into a plank. Lift your leg and step back into your runner's lunge. Find a little rock here. Now make sure your hands are planted firmly. Step back into a plank. Find a little rock again. Take your knees down, exhale down, chaturanga, elbows stay close to the body, come all the way to the floor. Inhale, baby or full cobra, lifting the chest up. Exhale down, send your tailbone up and back, downward facing dog. Same on the other side. Inhale, lift the left leg, come on forwards to plank, hug it close to your chest and step between the palms into your runner's lunge. You may need your blocks here if you're inflexible. Just feel through this runner's lunge to begin with. Sink the hips low, but keep that back leg engaged. Even squeeze the glute, lift the kneecap. And then slowly draw the knee down to the ground for your low lunge. Remember, you can always use your block if that's something you need. Never feel ashamed to use your props. In fact, they are something that can really, really advance your practice and help you be safe as well. They can help you get deeper, but they can also help hold you back and keep your body safe. So be where you are in your low lunge, just to give into the gravity. And now send your hips back, straighten the front leg into your half split pose, half Hanumanasana. Engage the foot, so have the toes face the sky. Lift the kneecap up towards your thigh if you're able to straighten your knee. You can play around with with pointing your toes and engaging your toes, just to feel the difference in the stretch. Roll forwards to your low lunge once again. Untuck the back toes, come up off of the knee. So start to open your knee, take it out from underneath your left elbow, your left, I can't even think of the word now, armpit, sorry about that. And start to bring the knee behind the left palm and slide your way into Pigeon Pose. So this may not be accessible to everybody. You may need to prop this left sit bone onto your block just to elevate those hips if you need to. You can stay up on your palms throughout this pose if you would like to, which is opening the hip in a more gentle manner, but it's also getting deep into that psoas, which actually just feels so good. So together we'll breathe here. If it feels good, come down to the forearms, onto your block, or maybe take the forehead all the way to the ground. Okay, everybody, come up onto your palms if you're down on the ground. I actually did miss something for the intermediate yogis, so we're just going to go back into our low lunge, just so that we can bring it back into the pose, into the practice. Otherwise you may feel a little lopsided. So come up on your palms, lift your knee off the ground, hug this knee towards your body and step back into your runner's lunge. So find a little rock here in your runner's lunge, and we're just going to throw in what I missed on this side quickly before we move on. Drop the back knee back into your low lunge. And the intermediate yogis, I don't know if you did it, but you can lift that back foot off the ground and give that quad a good stretch. So beginners, just stay in the usual low lunge. Okay, come back into your runner's lunge, everybody. Lift that back knee off the ground. Plant your palms nice and firm. Lift that foot off the ground and step back to plank. Hold your plank just for a moment here. You can take a full chaturanga or drop your knees. If you want to take a full chaturanga, join me. And we're going to bend, come on forward, bend the arms close to the body. Inhale up for upward facing dog. Knees and thighs stay off the ground, and send your tailbone up and back to downward facing dog. Now try to jump through your hands. It's not going to be possible for beginners, so instead just jump to the top of your mat if you're a beginner into like this kneeling position. Send your bum down to the ground, Open your knees, hip distance, hands shoulder distance, a few inches away from your bum. Send your hips up to the sky and let your head fall back. This is our reverse tabletop. Stretching through the shoulders. You may have some tension there. Squeeze those glutes, lift a little higher. And drop your tailbone down, lift your head last. Now open your legs out wide. I'll face you just as wide as you want to make them into a straddle. They don't have to be very wide at all. And we're just going to stretch out the inner thighs now. So find a rocking motion from side to side. You may not be able to bend forwards at all. Perhaps you just got your hands resting behind you, just keeping yourself nice and straight. That's fine as long as you can still feel a stretch down those hamstrings and maybe in the inner thighs as well. If you would like to, you can rest your forearms onto your block in front of you, getting a little deeper, maybe becoming still. Wherever you are, just take a few deep breaths. All right, everybody, come on up. Just move your proper side. Come into a comfortable cross-legged position. That was the last pose of the day. So just sit up tall, maybe find some neck rolls. Come into a neutral position with the head. Just take a moment here of complete silence with me, so tops of the palms to the knees. Allow your breath to be natural and allow any thoughts that come into your mind to be there without judgment, but then allow it to pass. Okay, everyone, you can stay and meditate as long as you like, or you can start to deepen the inhales, keeping the eyes closed. And take long exhales out the mouth. One more. Wiggle your fingertips and your toes. Rotate your wrists, lift them off your legs. Rotate them in both directions. With the eyes still closed, inhale, raise the hands above your head. Allow your face to follow up to the sky. Stretch. Exhale down, nice and slow. Do that 2 more times, keeping the eyes closed. One more. Take an arch of the spine, hold onto your knees, tuck your chin in. Inhale, lift the chest to the sky. And back to a neutral spine. Rub your hands together at heart center. In prayer, just rub them together. Warm them up. If it's very cold, maybe blow into them. And then place your palms over your eyelids with your eyes still closed. Open your eyes behind your palms, just blinking your eyes open and closed a few times. And then release the face. You can open your eyes. Namaste, everybody. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this class. I hope it's left you feeling stress-free and a little bit lighter in your body as well. I know it's worked wonders for me, especially when it's this time of year and you're feeling a bit run down, actually. And I've recently sent out a letter to you guys about potentially feeling bored in your practice. It's actually quite a common thing for people to feel like yoga is becoming perhaps a little dull for them. Maybe they're just getting a bit stagnant in their flow. Maybe their personal practice is becoming a bit stagnant and starting to lose that drive or the fun of it. You know, I would just like to say to you guys, if that's how you're feeling, maybe you need a little break from yoga, or maybe you need to mix things up a little bit. I have loads of different little challenges you guys can do, or little series you can do. I've got a 5-day strength series. I've got a 14-day flexibility series. They linked below in the description, just so you know. And also a 30-day challenge. So that's also a really great way to give your practice a real boost, to help you transition in different ways that maybe you wouldn't have thought about before. Also just a great way to bring you back into the body and to take you out of your mind, because partly why a yoga practice can become a little dull to people over time is that they are starting to get back into the head and missing the point of yoga sometimes. Is so easy to do. It's easy to get, you know, swept up with all the poses and maybe even feel frustrated that your practice isn't advancing. And maybe it's not on a physical level very much. But just remember, the work that's happening inside is really what yoga is about. And that's what we're aiming for, is to better our stress levels, to achieve less stress, to become a more conscious and enlightened being. That's really the aim of yoga. So everybody, do let me know in the description, gosh, my mind, in the comments below how you found this class. And If you really enjoyed it, feel free to leave me a thank you, which is a button I've now got. You can leave me a donation if you would like to. Every little donation really helps with this free yoga that I love to create for you guys. So if that's something you want to do, then I appreciate that. Otherwise, please do give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share. Things like that are all really helpful. So until next time, thank you guys. Lots of love.